Okay, this is the vlog series where I just kind of ramble on about a topic. Topic this time is I'm going to announce something new that I'm going to be trying out on this YouTube channel. And I've got this whole let of why I'm doing this, how the idea came to me, why I would possibly want to do something this dumb. Let me just cut to the chase so that nobody has to watch the whole thing if you just want to find out what the takeaway is. What I'm going to start doing is I'm going to go back through my archives and take all the book reviews I've written in the past, book and movie reviews. This is primarily on the blog I've been doing for years, and just make YouTube videos out of them. So kind of like read the old reviews onto the camera. Now, why would I do something like that? Well, here's the thought process that has got me here, if anyone's interested in. I started doing these videos a couple years ago, just kind of largely as an experiment. And I viewed them at the time as just kind of a supplement to the blog. Like I've got this blog post where I'm kind of trying to be somewhat careful with my words, you know, edit it and stuff like that. And then the video I just turn on and ramble. And obviously if you've been watching my videos, you know I just kind of ramble and don't edit and kind of stumble over my words and have trouble thinking of what I'm going to say and stuff like that. And I could perhaps with a little effort make these better. And that's been kind of in the back of my mind, is how to make these better. But at the same time, to a certain extent, it hasn't really been a priority to me because writing the blog book reviews and movie reviews has kind of been where most of my energy has been focused traditionally. What's interesting though, even though I kind of, you know, like when I make these videos, I put them at the bottom of the book review on the blog. So I have this book review written on the blog and then the video at the bottom. And I thought of it just as like a supplement to the blog. But what's interesting is kind of looking at the numbers. Much more people are watching these YouTube videos than are reading the blog. So in fact, it's almost kind of the reverse. The YouTube video is where I'm kind of getting the primary engagement. And I think maybe 2 people and possibly a dog are looking at the blog. Like nobody looks at the blog. No, a couple people. Thank you for reading. Yeah, it seems where all the eyeballs are is in YouTube, which means I'm kind of embarrassing myself by just kind of rambling on. Now, when I say lots of people are engaging with it, it's relative. I mean, as compared to the 2 people who are watching the blog. I think the more popular book reviews I've done have gotten 1,000 reviews. Some of them just get 20 reviews. Sorry, 20 views. But a fair number of them, more than I expected, have gotten into kind of over 500 range. And again, I know that's not much by like a YouTuber stardom metric, but just kind of comparing that to the amount of people who have been reading the blog, I'm finding I'm getting more of an audience here. So it's been in the back of my mind for a while that if this is where I'm kind of getting most of the engagement, maybe I should kind of put some effort into doing a better job instead of just turning on this camera and not editing anything and just kind of stumbling over my words and doing the usual incoherent mess that I usually do. I haven't yet gotten around to it because it takes time, and kind of time is something that you have to decide which of your projects you're going to focus your energy on, because you can't do it on all of them. I mentioned in kind of the first vlog I did that I wanted to start doing scripted reviews as a supplement to kind of my rambling reviews. So maybe still have the rambling reviews on where I just kind of turn on the camera and just kind of see what I come up with. But then also, in addition to that, maybe not for every review, but for a few of them, kind of carefully scripting stuff out and kind of practicing what I was going to say. I never did that for a couple of reasons. One is This was just kind of one of many ideas I had, and I've been kind of putting my energy into other ideas, like kind of creating ESL listening exercises on this YouTube channel, which has been kind of taking all my time and energy instead. The other, I guess, yeah, that's been the primary reason, and just kind of no other time left to kind of concentrate on other things. Now, the idea of scripting a review in some ways is a little bit redundant because I already have a written version of each review on the blog. And I was reluctant to just kind of read the version on the blog for a couple reasons. So what I was thinking originally was, excuse me, a drink of water. If I was better at editing, I would have edited that out. I still don't have an editor at the moment. I mean, there's YouTube editor. Actually, maybe I could edit that out in YouTube editor. I think YouTube editor is good at adding stuff out, but not combining stuff. Yeah, what I was thinking originally is I would make a video script especially for a YouTube video. So like not just read out what was on the blog. But then I was thinking, oh, why don't I just read out what's on the blog? I mean, it's not ideal for a few reasons. Kind of one reason is that I'm not writing the book review on the blog with an air to being read out loud. You know, like there's a different style, different rhythm and stuff like that. The other thing is it's kind of redundant, isn't it? I mean, it's already written. If people want to read it, they can just click the link at the, you know, the description of the video to go to the blog post. But I think the reason people are on YouTube, and because of the reason these videos are getting much more engagement than the blog posts, is, you know, people don't want to read it. They're on that's why they're on YouTube. No reading. Now, obviously, the type of person who's interested in a book review is a reader, but, you know, they probably, I don't know, they probably want a nice paperback. They don't want to stare at the computer screen. I understand. I'm the same way. So, yeah, what was I? Right. Because I at the moment, I don't think I'm going to have the time or energy to kind of script another video for YouTube. I think I might just kind of read out the blog. So that would allow me to put up another version of the review, which was a little bit more polished. I mean, it would still be kind of low production values. It's just kind of me sitting here reading, but it would get rid of kind of the stumbling, the, oh, what was I going to talk about next, the losing my train of thought, embarrassing stuff. Now, I think I'm still going to do two videos. I'm still going to have one video where I just put on the camera and ramble, because I don't know why. Because I'm kind of self-indulgent that way, and I think every so often when I put on the camera and ramble, I stumble onto something that I hadn't planned to say, but ends up kind of not being a bad idea. It's self-indulgent, obviously, but, you know, I can afford to be self-indulgent because this is just a hobby. It's not like there's a regular audience to keep up, or I'm making my living for this or anything like that. Right, I lost train of thought again. So yeah, I'm gonna keep doing these kind of rambling reviews where I just turn on the camera and ramble. But I thought also for each review I would supplement it by reading what I had written out for the blog. So I kind of have something that was a little bit more coherent and where I didn't lose my train of thought halfway through. Now, I've been thinking about this for the past few weeks, actually, while I was out doing the Delta. And initially I was thinking from this moment forward, just kind of every review from here on out, I do one scripted version, one rambling version. And then I thought, well, you know, the blog posts are up there for all the all the old videos I've done, all the reviews I've done. So I could go back to all the reviews I've already filmed and read out the blog post, so you'd have a scripted version and a rambling version. And then I thought, Well, actually, if you go back even further before I started doing these YouTube reviews, I've got about 12 years of book and movie reviews I've been doing on the blog. I could just go through the archives and start reading off those. And maybe it would be of interest to people. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to tell, really, isn't it? Again, not every book review I do. A lot of them are not getting a lot of engagement. But there's a handful of ones where the video version is getting much more engagement than the blog post. And I think every now and again to myself, it's a pity I didn't start doing this years ago, because I've read a lot of really interesting books over the years. They're just kind of languishing on the blog. Nobody's looking at them. It's a bit, maybe I'm coming to this revelation a little bit late. Maybe I should have realized this 10 years ago, but blogs are really dead. Nobody reads blogs anymore. I mean, I think YouTube is where people are engaging. So all these kind of book reviews that I feel kind of semi-proud of, or at least feel like the book was something interesting and I would like to talk about the book, even if my review isn't all that great, are just not getting read by anyone on that blog. And I thought, I've been thinking, yeah, maybe if I put them on YouTube, they could get new life. Now, what usually happens is, well, it's a bit difficult to tell which videos people tend to engage with and not. It's a source of interest to me that the handful of videos where I don't really have anything intelligent to say, but maybe that's true of all of them, especially where I don't have anything intelligent to say, where I kind of start the video and say, look, I don't have anything intelligent to say about this. I'm just making a video because I've started this pattern. Some of those have tended to be the ones that get the most engagement. So you never really know, do you? Anyways, after I thought about that, I started regularly reviewing every book I read on the blog in 2006. Movies, I started regularly reviewing them in 2007. Took me 1 year to start doing it regularly for movies. Before that, I would kind of review stuff as I felt like it on the blog. And some of those are really haphazard because I just put up a couple paragraphs here, like, I really like this book or something. I wasn't writing a full review. But I thought, you know, there were a handful of interesting things. Maybe I could go back and do those. And then I thought about it even more, and I thought, you know, I still have some of those book reports or book reviews I did in high school and university. I could even throw those into the mix. Now, maybe this isn't a good idea. I mean, maybe none of this is a good idea, but maybe especially going that far back isn't particularly a good idea. But I don't know. You know, it can't hurt. My philosophy with this blog and with this YouTube channel has always been throw stuff up on the wall and see what sticks. You know, maybe it will be interesting to somebody, maybe it won't. Of course, that's my philosophy as somebody who's making it. People who are watching it have a different tact, and I understand that. You know, people kind of get angry at me for wasting their time sometimes. Sorry. Yeah. But I think what I'm going to try and do is kind of go through and just kind of do everything. Like this is a little bit of a personality quirk I have, and people who've known me for a long time have kind of picked up on this or kind of teased me about this. I'm a completist. Like if I'm going to do something, I'd like to just do everything. It really bugs me if something is incomplete. So if I were to go and kind of go through my old reviews and say, I'm not going to do that one because that review wasn't any good, it would kind of bug me that I had left that one review out. So I'm just going to go through and do all of them. I think I'm going to go all the way back through my archive, starting with some of the stuff I wrote in high school, back for school. So how's this going to work in the future? First of all, I'll write up on the video description, scripted book review. And so if you see that, you can know that I'm just rereading one of my old blog entries or one of my old book reports. And then you can skip that if you want to kind of stay far away from that. And I think I'll label the other ones rambling book reviews. So like it's clear which one is which. So you can choose which one. I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning of the archives. I think just kind of a preview what we have in store here. A handful of stuff from high school and university. They read more like reports than like reviews, because that's what they are. A lot of them are book reports, where I'm kind of arguing a thesis to do with the book that can be supported by 3 points. I'm not even really saying how much I enjoyed reading it, just kind of analyzing it for this aspect or that aspect. Then I think I'm just going to move chronologically through. So there's about kind of the first 3 years I was doing this blog. I would review stuff as I felt like it, and often kind of in a haphazard way, just kind of a couple sentences here or there. But you know, maybe there's something to be said for brevity. Maybe these ones where I go on and on and on are actually the worst ones, and the best reviews are the 2-sentence ones. I don't know, I think I'll just give those a try, throw those up. And then from 2006, I kind of start regularly reviewing every book I read and making a project of it, like this is a book review, the whole post to it. When I first started doing it, I wasn't terribly good at it. I didn't know what I wanted to say about the book. So I just say, it was all right, I guess. I don't know, a little slow in the middle. And that would be kind of like a typical book review. As I did it more, I'm not sure it's fair to say I got better, but I started kind of reading the book more as a reviewer. So kind of thinking about the review in mind from the moment I picked up the book, because I was planning to review everything on the blog. And so kind of going through with a pen, kind of making notes in the margins, kind of thinking about expanding on this point or that point when I finally got around to writing a review. The upshot of that is some of these reviews just ballooned in length. And I guess that's, you know, for better or for worse, on a blog you don't have an editor, so nobody says to you, cut that part out. You can include every single digression you want to, and there were some when I was very self-indulgent on myself. Yeah, I don't know. But I think I'll give those a try as well, kind of seeing if I can make interesting videos about them. It's interesting, I was looking at some of them. In many cases, I disagree with myself. Maybe I wouldn't kind of read them exactly as I had written them 10 years ago. I could, you know, chime in, have a dialogue with myself, say, oh, wasn't that stupid that I wrote that there? So anyways, I think that's what I'm going to be doing. Now, the timetable here. There are hundreds of books and movie reviews, I think, going back in my archives. So if I post one a day, it could be like a couple of years before I work through them all. That being said, I'm probably not going to post one a day because I'm going to be really busy in the next few months. I got a lot of stuff coming up. So I'll work through them as I have time. And, you know, if it takes me like 10 years to work through it or whatever, then it takes me 10 years. And if it's of interest to anybody, great. If not, then yeah, I guess nothing lost, huh? But yeah, that's the experiment I'm going to be trying in the next few weeks. All right, so stay tuned for more of that. Look out for scripted book reviews.